Feed Our Roots is an organization whose goal is to help everyone find a convenient way to compost and get expert advice about how to do it right. Through an easy-to-use interactive map on our website, we make it easier for more people to compost, transforming apple cores and banana peels from garbage to valuable nutrients that can help heal the earth and strengthen our communities. So, a growing number of people are looking for ways to combat global warming, but sometimes it's hard to find solutions that fit naturally into our day-to-day lives. Some solutions that people are gravitating towards now include fresh, local food, reusing grocery bags, recycling, buying Priuses, or biking to work or class in the winter. But there are a lot more things that we can do to address huge problems. So this is a graph that the National Geographic created in 2008. The caption is something that someone else put on there, but I think it's really great. This is a huge bummer. It is showing organic matter that is consumed in the US annually and its recycling rate. So we're looking specifically at food waste. Right now, we are producing 34.76 million tons of food waste every year. 0.97 of that, 0.97 million tons gets composted. The rest is incinerated or landfilled. So that's a 2.8% recycling rate. That's horrible. It is totally possible to flip that upside down and compost all of it. So this is probably a fairly familiar sight to most of you. But I haven't had the chance to ask all of you your personal composting habits. So I'm just curious, who here composts their organic waste from home? Awesome. Could you keep your hands up, please? Who here thinks composting is a pretty good idea? And of you all, if you had an easier way to access a place or a way to compost, would you do it? That's a whole bunch of you. That's awesome. So, but probably a lot of you are still disposing of your kitchen waste this way. And when that happens, it goes here, landfills, a place we don't usually have to think about. We throw away our garbage, and that's it. It's out of our minds forever. But what happens is that food matter decomposes anaerobically and which means it doesn't have access to oxygen, so it produces methane. And landfills are actually the second largest man-made source of methane in the world. Methane is a greenhouse gas that is 72 times more harmful than CO2. So that's pretty bummer-ish, I think. What if this stuff, your food scraps from your kitchen, could turn into that, and into that, and then back into that, and then back into that, over and over and over again. Obviously, this is a very simplified look at what actually happens, but it's pretty beautiful compared to this. Okay, so some of you might remember Janelle. She's our friend from our first couple days. So Janelle is like a lot of us. She really cares about the environment. She recycles, but she still is left with this really, really heavy garbage that she takes out once a week. And she's aware of composting. She thinks it's probably a good idea, but she just doesn't know where to do it or how to do it. That's where Feed Our Roots comes in. Using our interactive map on our website, you can find a neighbor who is already composting, who would just love to have you come down the street and make her compost even better. She might actually even help you or let you help her garden or give you some of her produce in exchange for your compost. This is the kind of relationship that Feed Our Roots would like to help establish, and then the relationship would grow once we give you the tools to establish it. Or you could find a community garden. And this is a group of people in Minneapolis who have just built a compost bin, and they are all going to take their kitchen and yard waste there from now on, we hope. If this seems difficult or like something you care about but don't really want to spend too much energy on, there are services that will come and take your compost away for you. But this is the Compostadors in Minneapolis. Probably a lot of you maybe haven't heard of him. Has anyone heard of him before? One person, okay. So what I would like to do is connect all of these people, make it really easy for them all to find each other and work together. So the way Feed Our Roots would work is you would go to our website, type in your address, and your location would be plotted on a map. Then you would be able to see easily and visually all of the different people who are composting in your neighborhood. So just down the street you have a community garden and a neighbor who is willing to welcome you into her yard. And you're actually in the service areas of two different composting companies. Compost Cab, this is actually big in the East Coast, and Veteran Compost. So you have tons of options that probably you wouldn't have known about if you hadn't looked it up. So suppose you go to the website and there's nothing in your neighborhood. So what will happen is you'll be marked on the map as a potential composter. And you can go complain to your friends that no one's composting in our neighborhood. This is awful. And they don't believe you, so they go and they look on the website too. And soon, there's this really big group of people who want to compost. And if a compost collection company is trying to start a business, they can go here and see that there is an existing customer base that will readily support you if you want them. So through my graduate studies, I am looking for ways to use solid design principles to make sustainable practices fun and accessible to mainstream culture beyond those who have traditionally identified as environmentalists. The Feed Our Roots brand would help raise the perception that all of this is interconnected, and we could have signs at community gardens that would identify them as a potential composting site. Households could have a sign that would prompt conversation amongst neighbors. And by giving people easier access to a variety of ways to compost and tools to become highly visible advocates for composting, we can make it more possible for composting to scale to become a ubiquitous practice throughout the United States. No waiting for governments or curbside pickup to come to do the work for us. So, and she's going to help. So, however this happens, it's all about keeping the resources close to home and feeding our roots.